Now this is my basement rental unit and I've been developing it for quite some time now. It's kind of finished. It's ready to have somebody live in here, but I thought to myself, why not make it smart?
What's up guys, and welcome back to Ty Talks Tech. If you're new here, I'm Ty. This is my rental and I built a tenant-proof smart home. Everything here works on day one with or without apps. And the smart stuff is mostly there to prevent problems and to save energy in the background. In this video, I'll walk you through the full setup: the locks, the doorbells, thermostat, Wi-Fi, shades, lighting, sensors, and the few automations that actually matter in a rental. Starting from the entrance, let's talk door locks. I went with the Aqara U400. It is a pretty straightforward install, just a standard deadbolt replacement. I even swapped out the handles to match the silver finish just to keep the look clean and intentional. It also uses a rechargeable battery, so instead of having to swap AA batteries every few months, tenants can just recharge the battery using the USB-C port. Aqara says it can run up to about 6 months per charge, and if you ever forgot to charge it, there's a USB-C port on the front of the door lock that allows for emergency charging using a power bank or a mobile phone. Because it supports thread over matter, it isn't locked into any ecosystem. I can pretty much integrate it into anything. It actually supports multiple ways to unlock it: PIN codes, fingerprint, app control, NFC, and something much newer, UWB. Now this allows for a hands-free unlock as you approach the door with your phone, and ultimately a physical key if everything fails or you don't want to use any of the app controls. For the doorbell, I went with the Aqara G400. Now this doorbell is a wired doorbell, but since I didn't pre-wire for a doorbell, I had to get creative with this one. So I used the power adapter and ran that cable through a length of BX cable as a protective sleeve. I pulled out the original wire out of the BX and fed the power adapter cable through it instead. And after that was done, I plugged it into an exterior outlet. That way, everything looks clean instead of having a cable hanging down the wall. The doorbell gives you a live video, motion detection, and two-way audio, so you can see and talk to whoever is at the door. It is also a 2K with a 165-degree field of view, and the 3:4 aspect ratio gives you an head-to-toe coverage. Since there is no mechanical chime in this unit, the included plug-in chime actually solves that problem for me. With the exterior covered, I moved indoors to address climate control and energy efficiency. For climate, I used the Aqara W200 thermostat, and it's not just a thermostat. It's basically a wall panel plus a smart home hub. Now this does your typical smart thermostat features like scheduling, automations, remote control. But what makes it more interesting is that it actually doubles as a thread border router, a matter controller, and a Zigbee hub. It is the brains that talks to the shades and the locks locally, meaning even if the internet goes out, the house still stays smart. It also supports Apple's new adaptive temperature. So if you're into Apple ecosystem, it can automatically adjust on schedule and occupancy, and also has a built-in millimeter wave presence sensor. So it knows if someone is actually in the room, so it's not wasting energy heating an empty space. But again, the key thing here is it still works like a normal thermostat. You can just walk up to it and adjust it without needing an app. You can also set up the schedules as well directly on the unit itself. The W200 also lets you add a custom screen, basically a dashboard where you can place device controls or scenes. It supports up to 15 different configurations, but not every accessory type is supported yet. I built a screen that includes the control for the door lock, plus a stop all alarm notification button. I also added a close all shade button for a quick toggle when leaving the house. Since the W200's custom screen doesn't support shade directly, I did that one using scenes instead. For Wi-Fi, I installed a UniFi U6 long-range access point, and I split the wireless network into two, one for the tenant and one for the smart home devices. Now the big reason for this is turnover. When a tenant moves out, I can change or wipe the tenant's Wi-Fi without having to reconnect every smart device in the house. For the shades, I went with the custom WeFort Smart Shades. These were ordered to size. I just followed their measurement guide, picked the style and placed the order. They arrived in about 2 weeks. I went with the blackout double cell cellular design with a white frame and grey shade, mainly because this is a basement style window and I didn't want something bulky taking up extra space. And honestly, the biggest concern with custom order is whether it will fit. So the first thing I did was test that, and thankfully it was perfect.
Hello.
Hi, Mommy.
Hey, mommy.
Hello, like it?
How do you do, guys?
Install was straightforward. We drill the holes, mount the brackets and clip the shades in. Once installed, I just held the power button to wake it up. The remote came prepared, so it worked right away. For connectivity, I chose the thread over matter version. First, to stay consistent with the rest of the setup, and secondly, to keep that vendor neutrality so I can use it with whatever system I want. For power, I went with the solar and rechargeable battery option. There are other options like PoE or hardwired options, but those require planning ahead, which I didn't do here. The solar panel won't work in every window, so in some cases, the tenants will need to recharge it. But it uses a magnetic USB-C cable, so it just snaps in place super easy. For lighting, I added the smart Wi-Fi dimmer switches in the bedrooms. Because I installed a lot of recessed lighting, 4 6-inch lights per room, dimming is always what makes the space feel comfortable instead of always bright. It also keeps things simple for a tenant because the switch still works like a normal switch. For the bedroom dimmers, I'm using the TreatLife Wi-Fi smart dimmers. No hubs and you can dim them from the wall, the app or voice. Just note they are 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi and they need a neutral wire. I did try smart Wi-Fi recessed LED lights across the entire house before, and they were a constant pain. I kept getting calls from my previous tenants about disconnects, and the worst part was when the lights would drop into pairing mode and start flashing non-stop. So I removed them from all the bedrooms. I kept the ones in the main area, living room and kitchen for now, and I'm giving them one more shot. But if I get even one call about flashing or disconnects, I'm swapping those back to standard lights and sticking to just smart switches instead. The switches and the remaining recessed lights connect through the SmartLife app and they are cloud-based. They are easily my least favorite part of the setup and I'll probably deal with them later, but I don't want to mess with them just yet since I have people moving in right away and I'm short on time. In the kitchen, I added a leak sensor under the sink. Now this connects over Zigbee directly to the W200 thermostat, so no extra up is needed. I've had leaks go undetected in other units before, so this is a non-negotiable for me now. And for the windows, I added contact sensors. I opted for the Aqara Zigbee sensors for two reasons. First, they are small, and second, they work directly with the thermostat. The compact nature of this sensor came in clutch for this style of window. The window opens on both sides, so I placed one end on one window and the other part on the other. So no matter which side you open, it triggers. Everything here ties together through the Aqara system. For example, when someone presses the doorbell, it shows up on the thermostat and you can unlock the door right from there. But the automation I really care about in a rental is stuff that prevents waste and problems. I've set up automations that check if any of the windows have been opened for longer than 5 minutes while the furnace is running.
Window off. Please close the window.
If that happens, it sends an alert and turns off the furnace right away. I also have automations for leak detection as well. Once water is detected, the sirens will go off on the thermostat to alert and also go off on all the phones and apps. Now that's the kind of automation I want in a rental. The one that saves energy, prevents problem, and the tenant doesn't have to think about it. All my tenants in the past have been iPhone users, so I've built this primarily around Apple Home. But because Akara is my main platform and most of these devices support Matter, exporting everything to Google Home would be easy too. I'll just create a Google account for the rental and reshare the Matter devices into the Google platform. For the Apple Home setup, I created a new iCloud account just for this rental. That way, I'm not sharing my personal Apple account information with tenants. And I added an HomePod Mini as well because you need an Apple Home Hub like a HomePod Mini or an Apple TV 4K to add users and get remote access into Apple Home. On the back end, I run everything through the Akara app. I added all the Thread devices like the smart shades and the door locks into Akara, so everything can be controlled there except for the smart life devices. And then I bridged all the Akara devices into Apple Home and I reshared the Matter devices from Akara directly into Apple Home, so everything shows up cleanly. And for the smart life devices, I added them into Apple Home via the Home Bridge add-on on Home Assistant. For Android, the Smart Life integration is natively available there, so I'll be able to bypass the Home Assistant setup for that.
So the installation is pretty much complete, and one thing I learned during this process is that scope creep is real. Now, when it comes to smart home, it's easy to just start to go overboard, right? I can automate pretty much everything here, but the problem is the more smart devices you add, the more things you have to manage, the more things you have to troubleshoot, and the more things that could potentially break. For example, the laundry room has a standard door lock there, and I planned to replace it with an Akara U100 smart door lock, but I thought to myself, there's no value in that because that's just another wireless device to the network, another device that requires battery, another device that requires an upgrade. And that's something a lot of people don't talk about enough when it comes to smart home. The more smart tech you add to your home, the more things you have to manage, the more potential problems, and the more upgrades you have to start doing, because with tech, they become obsolete pretty fast, especially in today's world. So you want to be careful between things that are, more of a convenience versus things that are actually really important, which is where I struggled with in this basement suite, where I am not the one using it. I'm not going to be living in here. So I needed to identify things that are standard versus things that are personalized. Another automation that I skipped here was anything lighting based, right? I think lighting automation is a preference, especially when I look at myself and my wife. For example, I considered putting smart lighting in the bathroom, and then I realized I like to shower with the lights on. My wife likes to shower with the lights off. So if I end up setting up the lighting automation based on a certain way, it could start to frustrate whoever moves in afterwards and the person prefers it lights off. And there's no way for them to just turn it off because motion will always keep turning it back on. So I decided to keep that off the table completely. But I put in a smart humidity sensor. For me now, I think that's more of a necessity. It's a security based automation, so that way it's able to take care of the moisture in there automatically. I've had some of my other units in the past where they don't turn on the exhaust fan long enough and it ended up resulting in mold. So this smart humidity sensor is a standard in any of my units as of right now. So with the way it's currently set up, anybody can move in here without any trouble. If they like smart technology, I can easily add them to their platform of choice, whether it's being Apple or Google. And if they don't want to use any of that, everything in here can still work like a normal device. You still use the smart thermostat like normal, switches still function like normal. All the doorbells and the door locks are pretty much standard in today's world. Most people are familiar with those. And everything will still work because they're all Thread and Matter devices as well, and they have separate network. Even if the internet goes down, everything here will still keep functioning. So I think I've been able to do a decent enough job in here. But the true test is when somebody actually moves in here, which someone is going to move in here at some point today. I'm excited to actually get their feedback once they move in after a month. And maybe I'll let you guys know what the experience is with this. And maybe it's something I might start to do more often. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this one. This was a fun project. It took me a couple of days to finally put it all together. It's time to sign out. Ty Talks Tech. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.